Good evening. So, what are the updates of this week's current affairs? Any updates? Please tell me. Less voting percentage in Telangana. So, did you see the exit polls and opinion polls? What's the report is saying? In Telangana. Okay. So, apart from the elections, any other thing? You people reading newspaper? Not at all? COP28, yeah. Yesterday itself it has started. Okay. You're not following newspaper? Newspaper చదవట్లేదు రోజు. Please do read newspaper. Please do read newspaper. At least half an hour to 45 minutes of your day, invest in newspaper. ఇంకేం చదివినా చదవకపోయినా పర్లేదు కానీ అట్లీస్ట్ ఇన్వెస్ట్ 45 minutes minimum. At least you people need to know, right, what was happening. So coming to today's current affairs. What is the answer? What is the answer? Fine. What is the answer? This is very important for your CSAT. 11 square, whatever the thing, if you see, so 4 digits, right? 4, if comes power like 1, 1, 1, 1, power 5, then here it will be 5. Again 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. So last 2 to 3 years, there is a similar question relating to the 11. You can easily see a 11 related question. So 11 question is very important. This is nothing related to this current affairs. I am just giving you a small input to you. Okay. Fine. Coming to today's current affairs. So what is dollarization? Any idea? What is dollarization? Fine. Prior to this, we will just see the news. Can dollarization save an economy? So in what context it is referring? Which country? Any idea? Argentina. Fine. So Argentina, right? You know this, right? So why there is a need of dollarization? So what is generally dollarization means? Dollarization అంటే ఏంటి? Like what? For example, what's their original currency? Any idea? Peso. They are shifting their currency to what? To dollar. So what is the reason? Like what? Do you know some brief history regarding this Argentina? What was happened? Any idea on that? Already since 1980s, there is an economic depression or lowness in the Argentina, but it grew on and increased. So till COVID, they have managed somehow. But after the COVID, many things have changed the picture. So one important after the COVID, what was happened? Job loss, right? So there is a disruption in what? Global supply chains. It's an external problem. What is the internal problem is heavily subsidized. They have heavily subsidized their health, whatever the social sector they have taken, it was heavily subsidized. So due to this reason, subsidy, they are printing more peso to balance this, right? So due to this, what if a country need to progress or something they need to do, they should have some resource to dwell on. So what is the main resource of this Argentina economy? Any idea? So a country, like exports should happen, right? Or else something, a country should dwell on something, right? For example, take India. What is our main thing? Agriculture. Same thing. Argentina is also based on the agriculture economy itself. So any one important agriculture output, do you have an idea regarding the Argentina? So if you talk about the India, what is the main agricultural item? Rice and wheat. Rice. So if you see the basmati is a good in number of export. So in the context of Argentina, what is the item? Agriculture. Any idea? Sugar comes out of Brazil, but soy, any idea? Soya, any idea? So recently they are planning for the scope of dollarization. What may be the reason? Any idea? Yeah, obviously due to all these conditions, there is a context of hyperinflation in that country. It was started. So to tackle that hyperinflation, you need to shift your country's currency to other currency. Then everything will become stable in their perspective. So if they have shifted to this dollarized economy, what they may get, shift cheste, what they will get, what the country will get. If a country need to progress, something need to happen, right? What they will get then? Yeah, investment, right? Investment. Obviously, if this investment sentiment boosts, there will be an influx of dollars, right? So where this investment may happen? Where? So what may be the area? What is Argentina famous for? Again, agriculture, right? So second thing is recently the trend of EVs. For this, lithium. Lithium is abundantly available in Argentina, right? So this is one of the context. So if we want to attract more investors, if we want to change our economy, so simply a country cannot change from one currency to another currency, right? They have some intentions with them, right? One of the intentions is due to this rising demand of these EVs and rising demand of this Ukraine and this Russia crisis also there, right? So and China and USA relations. So in this domain, we can plug that gap. So that's the reason why these countries have adopted, they are going to adopt this dollarization in their manifesto. But he came to the power, he said that it could be a medium term goal. This dollarization is what? Medium term, not abrupt like next day when they came into the power, right? So it's not next day. So they don't ask all those things. The UPSC won't ask whether it's medium, long term, all those things. They generally ask what? What is this dollarization? How the dollarization may happen? What are its impact? This is the domain where this UPSC will play a role, right? So do you know a concept of pegging? Any idea? Pegging ante telusu. What it means? So for example, there is an hard currency. Hard currency means what? Coins are, which is very stable and strong. For example, what is the hard currency here? Dollar, right? If we see, we also peg some of our things, our rupees to dollar, right? Do you have an idea? So pegging is different, right? We peg to see PPP, purchase power parity. You know this one? $1 కి ఎంత ఖర్చు అయ్యేది, ఒక బర్గర్ అక్కడ వస్తుంది, ఇక్కడ 70 rupees వన్ బర్గర్, రైట్? సో దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ పెగ్గింగ్, బట్ దిస్ dollarization is something different. You're just completely changing. In this dollarization, there is another thing called currency dualism. See, currency dualism means not only adopting like just solely the dollar depends on the dollar, but also depends on their national currency itself. It's playing both. So two currencies matters. So two currencies will play a role, not their national currency, not their international currency, something like dollar. So these are the very important words you need to remember. Currency dualism. ఇలాగా యూపీఎస్సీలో ప్రిలిమ్స్లో క్వశ్చన్ వచ్చే ఛాన్సెస్ ఉంటాయి. సో దిస్ ఇస్ పెగ్గింగ్, దీని గురించి వచ్చే ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది. సో ఇవన్నీ ఎకానమీ కాన్సెప్ట్స్, రైట్? సో కమింగ్ టు హియర్, నెక్స్ట్ థింగ్. So dollarization refers to the adoption of a foreign currency, typically the US dollar, as the official currency or as parallel currency alongside the domestic currency in a country. So dollarization can also be called as currency dualism, right? So alaga question march adige chance untadi. So just be aware of those things. Next, coming to countries adopted. So these are the very important thing you need to know. So I'll tell you the process, how this happens, and what are the implications also. Ecuador, in year 2000, in response to severe, so Ecuador, El Salvador. So next one is what? Zimbabwe. Facing hyperinflation, Zimbabwe started using the foreign currencies including the US dollar. Next one is what? Panama. US dollar along its own currency, Balboa. East Timor, the US dollar is the official currency. So it is fully dollarized, right? So just be aware of those things. Dollarization means it's not fully dollarized ane kaadu. There may be an currency dualism also. This point you need to remember. Next, this is a process of dollarization. First, it should be an government decision. So we are facing this hyperinflation, we have these investment opportunities, all those things, they have a plan, then they will decide. Next one is what? They will develop a legal framework for it. For example, if we take India as an example, if we want to shift our country to our rupee to dollar, what in example I'll tell, there is an act called Banking Regulation Act 1949. There is an act called RBI Act. These all things need to be amended, right? So those are the legal framework they need to develop. Next one, announcing and communication with whom? With the public. So the notes which you have, you can exchange over here to the dollars. From the tomorrow, from this day, from this date, you are going to experience dollar as your currency, or else both these currencies will work together. And for example, if you want to buy a biscuit packet, there will be a price tag of both, one in dollar, one in their local currency also. If we want currency dualism, if they shifted for single dollar, then it depends on that economy, how they are shifting. Next one, banking system arrangements. See, if we want to fully convert and partially convert, there are two things, right? Here the things matters. If we fully convert, there is not less, it's a negligible amount of playing of the banking system, because interest rates are based on the US Fed reserves. What the US dictates, obviously they follows over here. What their monetary policy follows, their monetary policy is similar to this one. So it's a negligible. If it is partial, means what? There is some scope to deal with their interest rates, their monetary policy, their inflation control, everything they can, somehow they can manage it. So remember. So next one, monetary policy, same thing. So next one is what? Currency exchange and conversion. Obviously they need to do it, right? So next one is what? Economic and social impact assessment. They will assess how this decision will impact to the common public. For example, job loss. To deal with the, for example, investment opportunity. To deal with investment opportunities, what are the grey areas they need to look upon? They'll get some input. So these are the things. So we need to do the partial one or full one. Got it. Next one is what? Long-term management. So implications in the short term. See, this is a very, very important thing. I have framed this. I have framed this in a two different ways. One is in the implication short term and the long term. Obviously, recently you have seen this one, NPS versus OPS. Do you have any idea about this one? New pension scheme versus old pension scheme? Koncham idea unda? So obviously in this OPS, 50% of their salary is given as pension, but here subscriber need to contribute into this NPS. Avuna kada? But here government itself make the things. Some states are shifting from NPS to OPS because for what? For political gains. Obviously, if you pension, obviously they will shift it. There will be an increase in the vote bank. So what they will think? It is a long-term thing. ఇప్పుడు కాదు, నెక్స్ట్ 50 yearsకి 60 yearsకి చేసుకోవాలి, అప్పుడు మేము ఉంటామో పోతాము. ఇట్ డిపెండ్స్ ఆన్ దట్ గవర్నమెంట్. అంతే ప్లాన్ చేసుకో. సో ఇప్పుడు పొలిటికల్గా మేము గెలవాలి అన్న థాట్తోనే ఉంటారు కదా. సో సేమ్ థింగ్ హియర్. సో షార్ట్ టర్మ్ ఆలోచిస్తున్నారా, లాంగ్ టర్మ్ ఆలోచిస్తున్నారా? ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఐ హావ్ టోల్డ్ యూ దిస్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, జస్ట్ యూ కెన్ కనెక్ట్ ఓవర్ దిస్. ఎందుకు చెప్పానంటే ఇది సేమ్ థింగ్. సబ్సిడైజ్డ్ దేర్ సిస్టమ్స్ ఆల్సో. దే హ్యావ్ ఫేస్డ్ దోస్ డిఫికల్టీస్. So implications of the short term, stability and confidence. Obviously, right, if we peg it to the US dollar, if we accept it as a US dollar, there will be stability and confidence. It will lowers the inflation rate. So helps control the inflation in the short term by using more stable currency, particularly for countries of hyperinflation. Simplification of the transactions. So next one, attracting foreign investment. This is the main area. So that's the reason why they will shift it to random short term goal. So next one, implications in the long term. So if you see the long term, obviously they lost monetary policy control, right? You are experiencing hyperinflation or some kind of inflation. See, every country is not similar to the economy of the USA, right? It has its own implications or something. If they have something related, any problem regarding the demand supply mismatch, they need to tweak these changes, right, in the monetary policy. So it is impossible for them to change, right, because they depend on what? Dollar itself. Next one, economic vulnerability. Economic events in the US can directly impact the dollarized country. So tell me one example. Yeah, for example, that one, global economic 2008, right, which was happened. Same thing. Now there is a tension between the India and China. So there is a change in the policy also of the USA, right, shifting their course. So you have already seen there is a less boom in these days in the software sector. You have heard these days software padipotundi. There will be a chance of falling on domain created. It's there in the market. Recession nadustundi. There is a recession kind of thing in the software market. So obviously they will face the same thing, right? Who adopt this? Next one, potential for financial instability. Over reliance of a foreign currency can lead to financial instability. There are sudden changes, and same thing. Social and distributional impacts. Dollarization can have social implication, may increase income inequality. So it may increase what? Income inequality, as those with access to the US dollars may benefit more than those relying on solely on domestic currency. ఇది ఎప్పుడు రెండు వాడుతున్నప్పుడు, రైట్? అడాప్టేషన్ challenge, obviously, right? If they are going to adopt the thing, there will be some kind of challenges. So very important thing which I have found, I'll connect with the previous prelims topic. This is a very important drawback you need to see, right? What is the thing? The central bank also loses its role as what? Lender of last resort. Did you heard somewhere? RBI, right? It's very important thing. Its securities, whatever its government bonds, all those things, right, must be bought back in the US dollars. Obviously, there will be price crunch. Everything may happen if the securities markets will down. Next one, do you know this one? Seniorage, ఎవరు can తెలుసా? Anybody విన్నారా ఎప్పుడన్నా? What is this? Yeah, if you want to earning profits by making currency. For example, 10 rupees note, or for example 2500 note. If you want to print or final output of a 500 note, it just costs something around 12 rupees or 10 rupees or something it may be. But they are getting something 500 rupees, right, to this. It's not company. If the inflation may happen also, it may not reach 12 rupees, may not reach to the 500, right? They'll get some profits when they are printing money, when they are printing these coins also. So that is called seigniorage. Very important economy concept. So limited seigniorage. Seigniorage, the profit a government makes from issuing currency is lost. So there is a case study which was mentioned in that article. What the case study is saying is all the times dollarization or something shifting to another currency is not factual or fruitful. It is not all the times fruitful. So one the case study is what? Greece case study. Right. What the Greece has happened? They have pegged their currency to what? Euro. So by shifting, there is an increasing tourism and each and everything in that economy. After there is a Eurozone crisis, due to that crisis, they also felt the same. The crisis also felt on that country. Again, they went into inflation and their economy has fallen. This is the case study. So I have briefed about it. But remember, so not all the times it is it's a fruitful thing, shifting to another currency or something. So this is the previous year question. Heard? This is a 2021 PYQ. So see, they may connect international current affair with the local PYQ also, like prelims questions also. There may be possibility, right? So tell me the answer of this one. In India, the central banks function as lender of last resort. Usually refers to which of the following? Lending to trade and industry bodies when they fail to borrow from other sources. Providing liquidity to the banks having a temporary crisis. Lending to government to finance budgetary deficit. Lending to trade and industry. So this lender of last resort is related to what? It doesn't include to the corporates or something. If we see RBI, right, it is a body under government. It only finances to government itself, right? So lender of last resort. If you see the first point, lending to trade and industry bodies when they fail to borrow from the other sources. Did you ever heard RBI దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి తీసుకుంటారు అనేది? Similar thing, there is a body called NABARD. You cannot go directly to that institution for getting the agricultural loan. It's just called as refinancing agency. Very important point. So if we remove the first option, what could be the answer? 2 and 3. So 2 also there, right? So these things are left, right? Providing liquidity to the banks having a temporary crisis, lending to governments to finance budgetary deficits. So obviously, right, who is the last resort for the banks? RBI itself, right? Who is the last resort for the government? RBI itself. So what is the answer? What could be the answer? Huh? A, B, C, D. C. So you need to think something logical when you are thinking. So next, a brief thing regarding this Argentina is endowed with extraordinary fertile lands, economy, lands, gas and lithium reserves. Devastating drought is expected to result in 2.5% negative growth in 2023. Annual inflation has accelerated in 2020, reaching how much? 3 digits. So that it means what? Hyper inflation. They will also take types of inflation. Hyperinflation. Poverty stands at how much? 40%. Extreme poverty stands for 9.1%. Very, very important point you need to note down is Argentina is currently under 30-month extended fund facility. So if you see 2022 paper, rapid financial agreement or rapid financial arrangement is part of which of the following organization? 2021, 2022, if you open the prelims paper, in that paper they have mentioned rapid financial arrangement. It is the part of which of the following organization? World Bank, IMF, some 2 other things they have given. The answer is what? IMF. Same thing they may ask in the upcoming prelims also. Regarding what? Extended fund facility. Right? Extended fund facility everdi? Huh? So with what? IMF. So please note down, this is a very important one. ఇలాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ ఇలానే ఫ్రేమ్ ద క్వశ్చన్స్ లైక్ దిస్. ఏదో ఒక థింగ్ తీసుకుంటారు. సో ర్యాపిడ్ ఫైనాన్షియల్ అగ్రిమెంట్ కూడా ఇట్ వాజ్ సంథింగ్ మెన్షన్ ఆఫ్ ద యూరోపియన్ యూనియన్కి సంబంధించి ఒక క్వశ్చన్ కరెంట్ టాపిక్ అప్పుడు ఉంది. సో దే హ్యావ్ పిక్ దట్ అండ్ దే హ్యావ్ పుట్ ఇట్ ఇన్ ద పేపర్. సేమ్ థింగ్ దే మే పుట్. Right, just be aware of those things. Next one, agricultural raw materials over 20% of the total exports. Soy products, vegetable accounts for almost 1/4 of the total. So next, very, very important, you need to look over is what? Map based. So we have covered economy based, polity based. Now another angle is what? Map based. So first of all, I'll already say to you people, so when you are going in a country's perspective, put a clockwise approach. Clockwise approach is what? Bordering things, whatever it may be, countries or ocean, whatever it may be. So if you see this, is it a landlocked or a water body bordered? Where? This side. So it is not bordering Pacific Ocean, right? Remember that point, first point. So what are these bordering countries? Starts with 12, Bolivia. Next one, Paraguay. Is Brazil bordering it? It's Brazil. Next one, Uruguay. Next, what about Chile? So how many countries are bordering? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember this point. Very important. So next one, another thing you need to note down here is Tropic of Capricorn is passing through Argentina or not? Is it passing? Tropic of Capricorn, not Tropic of Cancer or Equator. Tropic of Capricorn. Remember this point. This is the second question they may frame. Right. Next one, what are the mountains over here? Andes. Right. What is the mountains? Andes mountains. So there is a plateau called what? Patagonia plateau. Where it is? Argentina lo. Right. ఇలానే మ్యాప్ బేస్డ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అని జాగ్రఫీ పీవైక్యూస్ చూసుకోండి, ఇలానే ఉంటాయి. దే విల్ పిక్ సంథింగ్ ఏ కంట్రీ, దే విల్ గ్యాదర్ సమ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ న్యూస్లో ఏమున్నాయి ఆ కంట్రీస్ని పిక్ చేసుకుంటారు. దే డూ దట్ సచ్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ థింగ్స్. సో నెక్స్ట్ వన్, దేర్ ఈస్ ఎ ప్యాసేజ్ కాల్డ్ వాట్? Drake's passage. Drake's passage, right? Drake's passage is a connection between this Pacific and Atlantic. If you see here, here it is Pacific, right? Here it is Atlantic, right? So these are the things they may come on the paper, I don't know, but in this ilaga different dimensions lo questions adige chances untai when you are choosing a country. Next, one important thing you need to look over this one. Any idea? Grasslands ecosystem. There are two types of grasslands. One is temperate, another one is tropical grassland. So if you see here, what is a grassland? Pampas, right? Pampas. So question alla frame chesare pampas enti. So some, it's a very basic thing, but you may forget. So pampas, is pampas what? Temperate or tropical grassland? Temperate. See, so what is the tropical meaning? Between the tropics means 23 and of north to 23 and of south. ఈ మధ్యలో ఉన్న ఏవైనా సరే comes under what? Tropical in nature, right? So it is beyond, right? Then it is what? Temperate glass. That's the reason why అందుకే ఇవి చూసుకోవాలి మనం. So if you know this, northern part of Argentina is crossing by this Tropic of Capricorn. So Pampas is something over here. So then it is obviously, without knowing also, you can easily put on the paper, it is temperate grasslands. So కొంచెం లాజికల్గా ఆలోచించండి, గుడ్డిగా బట్టి పట్టిన అవసరం లేదు. దీస్ థింగ్స్ వెరీ ఈజీ. సో what are the tropical grasslands and temperate grasslands? So example of tropical is what? Savannas. Where you can see the savannas? Africa. They have a tropical continental climate where wet and dry seasons come alternatively. The tropical grasslands have a short plants which make them an excellent hunting ground. So what they will do is, they simply give this as in the question. They have a tropical continental climate where wet and dry seasons come alternatively. They have a short plants which makes them excellent for hunting. Which of the following description which was given above related to which of the following things? First one, temperate grasslands, mountain grasslands, tropical grasslands, something extra. So they may give, అంటే tropical grasslands నుంచి కింద description ఇవ్వచ్చు, or description ఇచ్చి they may give regarding the definition of it, ఆ టర్మ్ గురించి మాట్లాడచ్చు, అలాగే అడిగే ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది. సో వాట్ ఆర్ ఇట్స్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్? ఈస్ట్ ఆఫ్రికా savanna, Brazil campos, Venezuela it is llanos, right? Very important. East Africa savanna, Brazil campos, Venezuela it is llanos. So what about these temperate grasslands then? Semi-arid to semi-humid. The soil here is fertile with rich nutrients and the minerals. They suffer from extreme climates. The precipitation in these grasslands is majority in the form of dew and snow, right? So examples: Argentina pampas, America prairies, South Africa veld, Asia steep, Australia down. So it may look very basic. So if you open the NCERT books, these are very commonly placed. So if you are very common with the geography also, very basic things. But ilanti basic things అనేవి these days చదవట్లేదు people. What I found, like last year my friends have written the prelims, they itself keep lot of questions which are very basic in nature. For example, P and S earthquakes, last year question. If you see, they didn't attempt it. Why? Because a very basic thing is చదవట్లేదు. So the trend has started. That's what I'm going to say is basic trend కూడా start అయింది. Why they are adopting that basic trend? They are giving these options confusing. One option only, two options only, three options only. Then they can play with you. So don't neglect. So what my intention here is, don't neglect. If a country comes, try to go somehow deeper. So this is an second article. So what it is? Yeah, history reference, whatever history, it can be polity, economy, whatever it may be. But again I'm telling, I generally pick, in every week I generally pick a 50 years or 100 years which may be important for our, everything is not important. Right. So here 100 years, 2023. So if you analyze the PYQs also, I have already done a session previously. So regarding the 100 years, 50 years, how may I ask a question. So if you see the 100 years, November, whatever it may be, remove the date, 1923. So there may be a chance. Mysore civil service. You don't need about this Mysore civil service or Hyderabad civil service. You don't need about those things. So what they have mentioned, open competition exam will be held in 1924 for the selection of candidates for the Mysore subject, whatever it may be, it was happened. So this examination last was happened when? 1919. So after this, you know, right, Government of India Act 1919, it has proposed a commission for an all India services and to change some provisions how to deal with these things. Provincial ga elag undali enti ani cheppadaniki they have laid a commission cheyalani cheppesi future lo chepparu. So any one of you in this class know about that commission? Yeah, exactly. So it is called what? Lee, not Breckley or something. So Lee commission, very, very important, very important. So last year also they have asked a question in the history based on the commissions. I will attempt chesunte, or if you go home just check. Last year there is a question on the based on the commissions. Who is the head of that commission? So regarding commission, regarding what? In that domain there may be a possibility. So Lee commission is also called as Royal Commission, right? So last year there is a question, I think so, I think Fort Williams or something. So they have, like, at the time of Wellesley, they are going to start an civil services academy in India during the time of 1800, but it was failed, and they have opened it in London, right? So those type of civil services very common for us, right? So there may be a chance. Lee commission, just remember. So just see what are its recommendations are important for your history based question. Maybe you have seen somewhere in your spectrum book or somewhere else, but remember these type they have mentioned, right, in the newspaper. They may connect, we don't know. So we just need aware of those things. Government of India Act 1919, section 96C as per the act provided for the establishment of India in what? Public Service Commission. Subject was then referred to the Royal Commission. What is the commission name? Royal Commission on the Superior Civil Service, also known as what? Lee Commission. It was October 1920 that the Public Service Commission was set up in India for the first time. When is the first time Public Service Commission came into the picture? 1926. Very important point. After which commission? After Lee Commission or this Royal Commission. Who is the father of Indian civil services? Lord Cornwallis. He is the father of Indian civil service, Lord Cornwallis. It consisted of 4 members in addition to the chairman. Sir Rose Barker, chairman of this commission. Which commission? Not Lee commission. పబ్లిక్ సర్వీస్ కమిషన్ వచ్చింది కదా 1926లో, దానికి హెడ్ ఎవరు? సర్ రోస్ బార్కర్. లీ కమిషన్ లీ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ ద హెడ్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్, రైట్. వాట్ దిస్ లీ కమిషన్ టాక్డ్ అబౌట్ ఈస్, earlier there is a commission called what? Islington or Islington, it depends on how you pronounce, Islington or Islington, S silent. So remember, see how many commissions are there regarding the civil services. So tell me one commission regarding the education, history based, at least something okkatanna. A rally of Universities Act 1904, then during the time of Lord Curzon, which is 1904 itself, a rally commission 1904 during the time of Lord Curzon for universities. Any other commission you know regarding education? So this is a very basic thing. Education commissions very important. Prelims lo mains lo renditlo important adi. So you need to know. No idea? UGC it's general, it came into the commission, means it has some name. For example, Raleigh Commission, he is the head of it. Under this guidance, universities came into the being during the time of 1904. So next one is, prior to this 1990, there is a commission called Hunter Commission. During the time of, not that Hunter, which Hunter? Hunter Commission regarding this Jallianwala Bagh, not regarding that one. So next there is Sargent Plan, it is something around 1941. So these are some at least మీరు అడిగితే ఒక కమిషన్స్ ఒక టాపిక్, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ అగ్రికల్చర్ బేస్ చేసుకున్నాను కొన్ని కమిషన్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఎకానమీ based on some commissions. For example, RBI, Hilton Young Commission, anybody heard? అలాంటి కమిషన్స్ మీకు నోట్లో ఇలా వచ్చేసేయాలి. ఇఫ్ యు నో, ఇఫ్ దెర్ ఈస్ సంథింగ్, ఒక 4 ఆప్షన్స్ ఇస్తే అట్లీస్ట్ 2 యూ షుడ్ నో, బికాస్ ద నేచర్ ఆఫ్ ఆస్కింగ్ ద క్వశ్చన్ ఈస్ వెరీ డిఫికల్ట్ దీస్ డేస్. 1 ఆప్షన్, 2 ఆప్షన్, 3 ఆప్షన్ ఓన్లీ. అట్లీస్ట్ 2 చేస్తే అక్కడ గెస్ చేసుకునైనా ఒకటే ఈ రెండిట్లో ఏదో పెట్టి రావచ్చు. But if you don't know nothing will come. So education is a very basic thing. అలాంటివి కూడా చదవకపోతే కష్టం. So be thorough with those things. So coming to here, Islington Commission, it is also belong to what? Civil services. Suggestion of only how much? 25% of position for Indians. So Islington, it is something around 1912. Okay, something in that span. So 25% for what? Indians. So next one is what? Montagu Chelmsford reforms. It is prior to this Government of India Act 1919. Right? How much they have mentioned? 1/3, right? So next one, Lee Commission recommendation. What is the recommendation? Suggested in 1994 that 20% of the new recruits would come from the provincial service. 40% would be directly recruited Indians and 40% would be British. So ultimately what it is saying, 40% are Indians, next 40% are British, next 20% it is based on what? Promotions. Then antaryardham idi, right? 40-40-20. So be particular about these recommendations, right? Ilantivi easyga they'll play with you. So that is another topic. This is another topic. 20 mineral blocks go on sale. Right, tell me దీనిలో నేను ఏం పిక్ చేసి ఉండొచ్చు, just guess. So the government will launch the first round of auction of strategic and critical and strategic minerals across the country on Wednesday, putting 20 blocks under the hammer. The auction will be held online and the sale of the tender document will begin from Wednesday. Whatever it may be, begins or does, we don't matter a lot. So our theme is what? Our theme is on what? Where is it? Critical and strategic minerals, right? Any one of you in this class, you heard it, name you heard it. Can you differentiate it? వినడానికి వింటాం బాగానే. Can you differentiate it? What is critical mineral? What is strategic mineral? Every country has its own definition. Critical ఇవి strategic అనేది it depends on the country's need. Right. ఒకళ్ళని చెప్తారా definition? What could be the difference? Yeah, that is something closely. But ultimately, what I am going to say is, in India, critical minerals are both strategic and critical. India, according to the Ministry of Mines, you know, right? Ministry of Mines, దాని ప్రకారం ఈ critical minerals అంటే they are both strategic and critical. So prior to this, at least you people know, right, there will be a convergence between strategic and critical minerals. There will be a convergence. At least you need to know what are the strategic minerals, what are these critical minerals. Coming to the strategic mineral, they are for what? For a supply value chain. For example, if we want to develop EV, what is the must item? Lithium. So for a supply value chain. So coming to this critical mineral, this is critical because even though it is abundant in nature, it is used for what? National security purpose or national defense and security purposes. For example, uranium. Uranium, right? Uranium is what? Critical mineral. Lithium is what? Strategic mineral. But in India, this critical mineral may combine all those things. But they have divided according to the needs, because these strategic minerals can be done with the help of Ministry of Science and Technology or Ministry of Mines. But if we want to explore these critical minerals, it is the job of Ministry of Defense with the Ministry of Science and Technology. Got it? Multi-ministerial coordination will be there. But prati okkati Ministry of Science and Technology cheyidi ikkada critical minerals, because it is critical in nature, which will harm the national security. Got it? This is the main difference you need to know. So coming to this, just have see some things. Critical minerals, those that are essential for economic well-being of a country but are susceptible to supply chain disruption due to the geopolitical, economical, environmental factors. Examples and uses. Every year, if you see the paper, every year based on the prelims, last 3 years there is a question on these kind of minerals. Last year there is a question on titanium, prior that year there is a question on the monazite, and prior to that year something, a mineral related question is there. Very important, these polymetallic nodules, and these polymetallic nodules can also be the critical minerals. Got it? So coming to here, examples and uses are important. I will tell you how it is important, how it may get connected. Rare earth elements are REEs. Includes minerals like what? Neodymium, dysprosium and lanthanum, used in the production of high-tech devices such as smartphones, electric vehicles and renewable energy technologies. They don't ask much. Emantaru? Neodymium, dysprosium, lanthanum, recently seen in use, is used for the manufacturing of what? First they will give smartphones, second electric vehicles, third renewable, fourth they will give something. One option, two options only, three options only. So obviously the answer could be ఏమనుకుంటారు, ఒకటి తప్పు ఏదో ఉంటుంది అనుకోవచ్చు కదా, రైట్? ఆర్ ఎల్స్ దే మే యూస్ ఫర్ డిఫెన్స్ ఎక్విప్మెంట్ ఆర్ సంథింగ్, అది తప్పు అయి ఉండొచ్చు. సో బీ అవేర్ ఆఫ్ దోస్ థింగ్స్. సో నెక్స్ట్ వన్, కోబాల్ట్, ఎసెన్షియల్ ఫర్ లిథియం అయాన్ బేస్డ్ ఇన్ ద electric vehicles and electronic devices. Graphite, used in batteries, lubricants and moderators in the nuclear reactor. Very very important. 30 ఉన్నాయి. So there is a list of 30. In that 30 దేనికైనా అడిగే ఛాన్సెస్ ఉంటాయి, బట్ దీస్ 30 are important, what I am going to say in India. So next one, tungsten, you know, right? Critical for cutting tools in the manufacturing and the construction. Next one, antimony, used in flame retardants and semiconductors. Very very important. Which of the following element is used as a flame retardants? Is science application question kada. If you see the prelims, it is not science and technology, it is general science. It is what? General science. So ila adaga flame retardant, which of the following element is used as flame retardant? For example, they will all give all those things. So what is the answer? Antimony. So next, strategic minerals, essential for national defense and security, and their availability may impact the ability of to maintain a strong defense posture. Example, uranium, essential for nuclear power generation. Next one, titanium, used in military aircraft, missiles and armor. Recently this iPhone, right? New iPhone 15 Pro Max, 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max, they have made that phone with this titanium metal. You have seen? They have an idea? Space grade titanium metal. So next one, platinum group. Remember, this is very important. What are the platinum group elements? Palladium, platinum, rhodium, right? Used in catalytic converter for vehicles and in missile guidance systems. Cesium, used in atomic clocks, critical for navigation and communication system. Next one, beryllium, used in the aerospace and defense industries for its lightweight and high strength properties. So this is the India, according to the India's Ministry of Mines definition, what it means. What are the critical mineral means? Those minerals which are essential for economic development and national security. See, so it means what? Economic development ante enti? It is strategic, right? So then it is national security means what? It is critical, right? So the Ministry of Mines definition is. Got it? So all classification ko divide cheskunnaru. They lack the availability of these minerals or even concentration of existence, extraction or processing of these minerals in few geographic locations may lead to supply chain vulnerability and disruption. So it includes both. So this is the table which I have extracted directly from the Ministry of Mines. 30 are there. Just go home, just see over it. At least gurtu pettukondi enti anedi. So remember, there is an PGE means what? Platinum group elements. REE, again REE will be there. Rare earth elements, right? In these areas we India is adventuring. So next one, this one of the mineral which I have picked, that is called what? Titanium, right? Is it visible? Kanpistunda? Fine. So see, so what is its value chain? Clean technologies and advanced in manufacturing, defense and security technologies. Major application, aerospace and defense, chemical and petrochemical pigments and polymers, color pigment in paints, plastics, paper, metal alloys, aluminum, aircraft, missile. So all those things will be there. Next one, specialty iron anode materials. Titanium sponge plant of India is located at where? So మీరు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాల్సింది టైటానియం ఎక్కడుంది, ప్లాంట్ ఎక్కడుంది? కేరళ. Very important thing, remark, see here, major resources, reserves are available in what? Coastal districts of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, all those things. Same thing, just go for tungsten also, made through imports, right? See this thing. So our context is regarding what? Titanium. So this is the PYQ of 2023. ఎప్పుడుది 20? So what is the question? ilmenite and rutile. ఏంటి? ilmenite and rutile abundantly available in certain coastal tracts. అసలు మీకు ఇది తెలియని అవసరం లేదు కూడా. దట్స్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు సే హియర్. ilmenite and rutile నాకు కూడా తెలియదు. I also don't know. What you people need, abundantly available. The word is what? Abundantly available in the certain, not all, certain coastal tracts of India are rich sources of which of the following? Aluminium untada, it comes from ore. If you have some geographical minimum knowledge unte, aluminium అనేది ore నుంచి వస్తుందా? కాపర్ ore, iron ore, titanium ఎక్కడ చూసావు ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు సోర్స్? ఫ్రమ్ ద. సో ఇఫ్ యూ సీ హియర్, మేజర్ రిసోర్సెస్ ఆర్ అవైలబుల్ ఇన్ ద కోస్టల్ డిస్ట్రిక్ట్స్. ఇవి తెలిసినా తెలియకపోయినా సరే, అట్లీస్ట్ యూ హ్యావ్ అన్ ఐడియా ఆఫ్ దిస్ టైటానియం, అట్లీస్ట్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఐడియా అబౌట్ దీస్ మినరల్స్, యూ కెన్ ఈజీలీ పుట్. ఇది ఏంటంటే జస్ట్ మేక్ యూ టు టిమిడ్. ఎగ్జామ్లో మిమ్మల్ని భయపెట్టడానికి. నెక్స్ట్ వన్, లాస్ట్ ఇయర్ కూడా దెర్ ఈస్ ఎ క్వశ్చన్ ఆన్ మోనోజైట్ శాండ్స్. ఈ మోనోజైట్ కూడా దే విల్ యూజ్ ఇట్ ఫర్ మేకింగ్ ఆఫ్ యురేనియం. This is also coastal districts lo very abundantly available on the beach sand. Got it? So these they generally pick it from the news. What I am going to say is, news nunchi teeskuntaru. So that's the reason why paper anedi chaala important. Compilations, whatever the compilations you study, it doesn't matter a lot. దానిలో మేము ఎగరేసుకుంటూ వస్తారు ఎవరైనా సరే ఏదైతే పట్టుకోవాలో. బట్ ఇఫ్ యూ డ్వెల్ ఇన్ టు ద పేపర్, ఇఫ్ యూ గెట్ ఆ పేపర్ని గ్రిప్లో తీసుకొచ్చుకుంటే యూ కెన్ ఈజీలీ క్లియర్ ద ఫిలిమ్స్. దట్ వాట్ ఐమ్ గోయింగ్ టు సే, ఇట్స్ ఈజీ వే. ఇక్కడ నీకు నాలెడ్జ్ కూడా అవసరం లేదు. దట్స్ వాట్ ఐమ్ సే. నీకు ఎగ్జాక్ట్గా ఎలిమినేట్ రూటైల్ అనేది ఎవరికి తెలియదు కూడా. హూ ఆర్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ ఎంత బట్టి కొట్టినా సరే నో బడీ నోస్. దిస్ ఈస్ ద కీవర్డ్ విచ్ దే హ్యావ్ ఫ్రేమ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఇచ్చిన కీవర్డ్. దానికి టైటానియంతో లింక్. ఇట్ వాస్ దేర్ ఇన్ ద న్యూస్. గాట్ ఇట్? So it's a practice question. Consider the following statement, right? Strategic minerals are a type of minerals used in defense equipment production. Strategic minerals are a type of minerals used in defense equipment production. Strategic minerals can also be critical minerals in India. What is the answer? It's a new form of asking questions. Statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 is not the correct explanation for the statement 1. Antana? Strategic minerals are a type of minerals used in defense equipment production. Adi correct kada? Is it correct or not? Critical ఏంటి, స్ట్రాటజిక్ ఏంటి? స్ట్రాటజిక్ ఈజ్ ఫర్ డిఫెన్స్ ఓన్లీ కదా. ఇఫ్ యూ సీ ద ఓవరాల్ డెఫినేషన్, మీరు ఇండియన్ డెఫినేషన్ క్లాసిఫై చేసుకోకండి. ఇండియన్ డెఫినేషన్ రెండు మెన్షన్ చేసిండే. దట్స్ ద రీజన్ బై క్లాస్ క్రిటికల్ ఏంటి, స్ట్రాటజిక్ అనేది డిఫైన్ చేశాను ఫస్ట్. వాట్ ఆర్ క్రిటికల్? ఎకనామిక్ ఫర్ వాట్ ఆర్ స్ట్రాటజిక్? డిఫెన్స్ బేస్డ్, రైట్. సో ఈ రెండు కలిపి ఇండియాలో క్రిటికల్ మినరల్స్ అంటున్నారు. దట్స్ వాట్ ఐమ్ ఓవరాల్, రైట్. సో ఇండియాలో కూడా క్రిటికల్ మినరల్స్ కింద ఈ స్ట్రాటజిక్, ఈ క్రిటికలే ఉంది కదా. ఓవరాల్ టర్మ్ ఇచ్చారు అంతే. గాట్ ఇట్? వాట్ ఐమ్ గోయింగ్ టు సే. సో స్ట్రాటజిక్ మినరల్స్ ఆర్ అ టైప్ ఆఫ్ మినరల్స్ యూజ్డ్ ఇన్ డిఫెన్స్ ఎక్విప్మెంట్ ప్రొడక్షన్. స్ట్రాటజిక్ మినరల్స్ కెన్ ఆల్సో బీ క్రిటికల్ మినరల్స్ ఇన్ ఇండియా. ఈజ్ ఇట్ కరెక్ట్? సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఆన్సర్? స్ట్రాటజిక్, వాట్ ఐవ్ టోల్డ్, స్ట్రాటజిక్ ఎకనామిక్ డెవలప్మెంట్ చెప్పానా? స్ట్రాటజిక్ అదే చెప్పానా? ఏం చెప్పాను? వాట్ ఎవర్ ఇట్ మే బి, కరెక్ట్ చేయండి. యా, స్ట్రాటజిక్ నేషనల్ డిఫెన్స్ ఏదైనా ఉంటే కరెక్ట్ చేసుకోండి, ఫ్లోలో చెప్పుకుంటాను. బట్ రిమెంబర్, సో వాట్ ఆర్ స్ట్రాటజిక్ ఫర్ నేషనల్ డిఫెన్స్, వాట్ ఆర్ critical? Economic. So coming to this question, so what is the answer? So, A na B na. So you know these two things are correct, right? Huh? A na B na. Critical. Okay, so yeah, what is the answer then? B. Got it? So ఇలా కొంచెం కాంప్లికేటెడ్గా ఉంటాయి క్వశ్చన్స్. దట్స్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు సే. ఈవెన్ దో యూ నో ద కాన్సెప్ట్, ద క్వశ్చన్ ఫ్రేమింగ్ ఈజ్ డిఫికల్ట్. అక్కడ కొంచెం జాగ్రత్తగా ఉండాలి. దట్స్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు సే ఈస్. సో రిమెంబర్ అగైన్, స్ట్రాటజిక్ ఈజ్ ఫర్ వాట్? డిఫెన్స్. బట్ ఇండియాలో ఎక్స్క్లూజివ్గా అలా క్లాసిఫై చేసేం లేదు. క్రిటికల్ మినరల్స్ కిందే బ్రోత్ స్ట్రాటజిక్ అండ్ క్రిటికల్ మినరల్సే ఉంటాయి. So this is a very important thing. It may come in the 2024 or 25, I don't know. Nothing related, nothing kotta substantiate cheyadaniki deenlo em ledu, but it is a very important thing. You can use it in your answers. So what is this? Right to privacy not eclipsed by marriage, says Karnataka High Court. What did you understand about this thing? So that's what was happened here is, a woman owning to matrimonial dispute had sought her husband Aadhar's data under RTA Act. యాక్చువల్గా ఏమైందంటే, ఒక రుక్మిణి పేరు మార్చాను, మీరు అది అనుకోబాక. రుక్మిణి అనే ఆమె రామరాజు, he met, they have some good love story, they have married or everything has happened, so they have some dispute regarding one dog or something, I don't know. So they are planning to get divorce, right? The case in the divorce court lo unnappudu, he got absconded, this person. So what the court has told is to give alimony to this, on monthly maintenance to this woman, who is this Rukmini. What she sought in the court, or what she sought in the RTA Act, what is this RTA? Right to information. She want what? Other details of her husband. What she is saying is, we are a union. అంటే మేమిద్దరం కలిసే ఉన్నాము. అంటే మన ఇండియన్ కాన్సెప్ట్లో భార్యాభర్తలు ఏకమైతే చెరి సగం పంచుకొని ఏకంగా మారటం, అంతేనా? వాట్ వి జనరల్లీ, డోంట్ లాఫ్. Is it? They just form in a unity. Men and women get married, they just form in a unity. In that way, she has filed that we are an union, so there is nothing privacy gonna be between us. So share his other details. By that other details, I can track him because he is on the absconding stage. So some elements get linked with the spouse name, right? Entitlements. So she is demanding all those things, everything. So we don't need all those things. But remember, what this High Court said is, right to privacy, it's privacy itself. Whether you got married, whether you got detached, attached, whatever it may be, privacy is privacy on his nature. So we are not going to declare those things. If you want to need some declaration regarding those other details or whatever other details, we need a consent of that person. Right? Got it? So these are very important, good judgment which I have found. You can use it in anywhere of your answers. So these things are very unique which I found. So a question kuda adagachu, right to privacy, like marriage itself doesn't violate what? Right to privacy. This right to privacy comes when it came into the being? 2017, Puttaswamy judgment. That judgment is also based on the Aadhar Act. You know, right? The judgment is also based on the Aadhar Act. Why? Because earlier, if you see the Aadhar, it got linked with each and everything. For example, if you want a mobile data, that SIM card, bank details, each and everything, right? So they may violate, right? So you have a unique ID with you. For example, fingerprint and iris scanner. It is everybody's unique, right? If you got breached, they can manipulate it. They can take the entitlements, right, from your account by using those fingerprint, all those things. They can manipulate, right? For example, there is an MG Narega. Obviously, you need to be, Aadhar need to be attached with it. డబ్బులు తీసేసుకోవచ్చు కదా. సో ఇన్ దట్ వే రైట్ టు ప్రైవసీ కేమ్ ఇన్ టు ద బీయింగ్. సో దిస్ ద సేమ్ థింగ్. సో వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ article regarding what? Revamp of structure of Supreme Court. So any idea what's this article? Anybody read about it? So generally if you see, a Supreme Court has 3 different functions. So generally they have its functions. One is what? Advisory. Next one, appellate. Next, original. Right? These are the 3 main jurisdictions of Supreme Court. Right? What this article is demanding is, due to these 3 functions, there are lot of pendency of cases. Main aim of the Supreme Court is what? To protect ultra vires. Something goes against to the constitution, you need to protect it, and ultimately it also a protector of what? Fundamental rights. It's a final guarantor of the fundamental rights. So you are attaching all those things to the Supreme Court. This guy is suggesting, adani cheptunnadu anamata, he is saying like that. So advisory, appellate and original. So there are lot of functions. So due to this function there is a pendency of cases, but there is also lack of very less number of judges. How many judges are there including CJ in the Supreme Court? Any idea? 34. Who will increase this judicial judges strength? Parliament or judiciary itself increase? Parliament through act. Right, remember that point is important. So he said this thing. So what he has suggested is, do one thing. There is a bench called Constitution Bench. So what is the minimum strength of Constitution Bench? 5. It could be 5, 7, 9. It depends. 5, 7, 9, 11, whatever it may be. It could be something. He is demanding you just create a 2 parts. 2 parts in the Supreme Court. One is for constitution, one is for legal. That is looking all those things. And he also said that create 4 regional benches to look non-constitutional things. Ultimately constitutional things will be looked out by whom? This Supreme Court. This is the overall glimpse of this one, this article. Then we'll just see. Got it? What is the glimpse of this article? So remember, according to the original jurisdiction, what is the article number? 131. Very, very important. Regarding the courts, article numbers are very important. In last 5 years, 3 questions came directly from the High Court, Supreme Court. Dispute between union government and one or more state governments. So if you see the case names code unte chusara, Union of India versus, got it? Between union government versus one state or more state governments. Next one, dispute between 1 to 1 or more state governments. S versus yes. Next one, article 32. What is this article 32? Right to constitutional remedies, writs. Right, mandamus, all those things are right. So these are comes under what? Original jurisdiction. But you know this point, right? Writs can also be dealt by High Court. But it is an original jurisdiction of what? Supreme Court. That point you need to make note of it. So appellate. So appellate is what? Article 132 and 133 classified into how many categories? 4 categories. Very important. First one is what? Appeals. అంటే కింద కోర్టులో పని జరగకపోతే అపీల్, యూ నో ద మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ అపీల్, రైట్? if something you got not satisfied with the lower court, you can go for the upper court, appeal to the next one, to for a justice or something. So appeals with regard to constitutional category. So what this article is saying is, this is the original jurisdiction. If something comes related to the constitutional, it should be dealt by the High Supreme Court of the higher Delhi lo court deal cheyali. If something related to the constitutional, if it is ultra vires, and another they are saying that directly this is from appeal, right? High Court to Supreme, it is regarding what? Constitutional category, right? Then they are saying, you no need of worrying about this thing, you can directly submit to us. It is also constitutional in nature, right? This appeal also, right? So overall గా చెప్తుంది కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ ఏమని నాకు పంపించేసేయండి అని చెప్తున్నారు సుప్రీం కోర్ట్కి. సో నెక్స్ట్ వన్ అపీల్స్ బై స్పెషల్ లీవ్ పిటిషన్ ఈజ్ విల్ బి దేర్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ అపీల్స్ విత్ రిగార్డ్ టు సివిల్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ క్రిమినల్. అడ్వైజరీ, వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఆర్టికల్ 143. 143 is what? What you studied in your childhood? చదువుకోలేదా? You don't know? What is 143? You don't know? తెలీదా? తెలుసా? It is fine. Advisory. Article 143. President of India may seek the opinion following categories. Any question of the law may likely be respect view of public importance where the President deems it expedient to obtain such an option and on any dispute arising out of any prior constitutional agreement or treaty. So nothing much here. President wants some advice regarding some legal terms. ప్రస్తుతం పబ్లిక్ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఉన్న టర్మ్లో దే కెన్ ఆస్క్ ఫ్రమ్ ద సుప్రీం కోర్ట్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ప్రియర్ టు ద కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్, రైట్? సంథింగ్ హ్యాస్ హ్యాపెండ్. సో రిగార్డింగ్ దోస్ థింగ్స్ ఆల్సో హీ కెన్ get some advisory things from the Supreme Court. But what is the important thing here is, the Supreme Court can tender or rejects its opinion in the President in the first case. ఈ పబ్లిక్ ఇంపార్టెన్స్లో అడ్వైజరీ అడిగినప్పుడు ఇట్ మే నేను ఇవ్వనని చెప్పేసి వదిలేయచ్చు. బట్ ఇన్ ద సెకండ్ కేస్, దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ప్రీ కాన్స్టిట్యూషనల్ అగ్రిమెంట్, ఇట్ షుడ్ టెండర్ ఇట్స్ అడ్వైస్. దిస్ ఈజ్ వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో ఇలాంటి వాటిలోనే దే విల్ ప్లే విత్ యూ. సో బీ వెరీ కేర్ఫుల్. పాలిటీ, దట్స్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు సే, ఇస్ వెరీ వెరీ కేర్ఫుల్. చిన్నవి మారుస్తారు. గాట్ ఇట్. సో ఈ పాయింట్ స్కిప్ చేశారు అనుకో మీరు. సో జనరల్లీ విచ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టేకెన్ డైరెక్ట్లీ ఫ్రమ్ ద బేర్ యాక్ట్. డూ యూ నో ద బేర్ యాక్ట్ మీన్స్? పదం కూడా పోకూడదు. దట్స్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు సే ఇస్ యూ షుడ్ నాట్. సో దట్స్ ఫైన్. సో కాన్స్టిట్యూషనల్ బెంచెస్, ఐ ఆల్రెడీ టోల్డ్ దిస్ వన్. Article 145(3) and 143, cases before SC hereby division benches, full benches. Need of the separate constitutional bench. What is the need? So Indian High Court Act, first one, history based cheskoni cheppadu. What is the history based? Indian High Court Act of 1861 replaced the Supreme Court with the High Courts for the separate regions. So antakumundu undedi. That's what they have mentioned is. Next one, 10th Law Commission proposed SC to split into what? Constitutional and legal. He also demanding the same thing. In Bihar Legal Support Society, there is a case name. The Supreme Court stated that it was desirable to establish National Court of Appeal that would able to entertain special leave petitions. 29th Law Commission report recommended 4 regional benches. I have already told this, right? These are the recommendations which he is suggesting. So ultimately today Supreme Court issues around 8 to 10 decisions each year through constitutional benches of 5 or more judges. It reserves primarily as an appeals court. Only 4 of 1 to 3. So see the 4 of 1 to 6 3. It means C. Enta? Very negligible, right? 4 ante enti? Very negligible. That's the reason why he is demanding. At present, there are how many? Nearly 80,000 cases pending before 34 judges of the Supreme. Nearly 80,000 cases unnai. Right. So again, 2 topics I have selected for this week regarding this judiciary. One is regarding this revamping Supreme Court. Another I have taken All India Judicial Service. I'll tell about that one also. So what could be the way forward? So same thing. There could be 2 benches. You need to divide those things. That's his intention. So I think I didn't cover this one. But remember, there are some conventions of ILO, safety conventions. So regarding what? Are just trying to do safety net. There are some conventions. I think it won't visible over here. Is it visible somehow? Occupational Safety and Health Convention. The number is what? 155, while 62 into the countries have ratified, 60 countries have notified this one. Next one is what? Occupational Safety and Health Convention 187. So these are the 2 conventions which was given by whom? ILO, International Labour Organization. Anyone have idea when this ILO came into the being? Year? So pre-constitution, pre-independence or post-independence? It came in 1919 after First World War. సో ప్రతి దానికి ఏదో ఒక హిస్టరీ స్మాల్ది ఉంటుంది. ఆ హిస్టరీ మీరు కనెక్ట్ చేసుకోగలిగితే ఎవ్రీథింగ్ విల్ బీ ఈజీ. గాట్ ఇట్. ఆఫ్టర్ ద ట్రీటీ ఆఫ్ వెర్సైల్స్ దిస్ ILO కేమ్ ఇన్ టు ద బీయింగ్, రైట్? సో రిమూవ్ దట్ వన్, సో ఫర్గెట్ అబౌట్ ఇట్. సో రిమెంబర్ these 2 conventions, right? First one is what? Occupational 155 and 187. These were not till ratified by the India. So enduku cheptunnaru, why these conventions in the picture? Because so they are talking of what? Occupational Safety and Health Convention. They are connecting this with what? Recent what was happened? 41 workers got trapped, right, in that Silkyara tunnel. So it is an occupational safety itself, right? So that is the reason we are not in line with that ILO conventions. What's the, so normal questions of Silkyara tunnel ekkada undi, Uttarakhand, all these things, they may come on the paper. You can expect those things because it is very common, everybody will know. But you didn't expect such kind of conventions on the paper. If the conventions paper మీద వస్తే we have never studied అన్న thought లో ఉంటారు. Got it? But it is linked with this NDMA, National Disaster Management ultimately. Got it? So remember, these 2 conventions are not ratified by India. That you need to know. That's it. So next, they have also seen a disease name. So there is a disease name called what? Mesothelioma. It is caused because of asbestos exposure. Asbestos, very important. ఈ డిసీజ్ దేని వల్ల కారణం అవుతుంది? సో వాట్ ఈస్ asbestos. So and you also need to know what are the main work related deaths. What is the largest consumer in the deaths is what? Long working hours. So they recently a trend has started, 70 hours. You have seen 70 hours a week. So is it something against it? Hmm? Huh? Something. See, everybody cannot work 70 hours a week. That's what I'm going to say. See, you people can, so your target is to clear UPSC. Your task is to read. Reading is your work. You can do 10 hours. So if he is not able to do in that condition, he also need to set nutritional status, right? He need to have some issues with his health problems. He is unable to work. So this report itself saying that, right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what that is the thing I'm going to say is, see from what's the person's intention. See what's from the person intention, in what way he has conveyed it to you. Got it? So one thing, when I'm dealing with these things, I've told a concept of DALY, DALY, disability adjusted life years. Class లో ఎవరైనా వినుంటే DALY అని చెప్పాను. Years of life lost, years of lost due to death. There is a concept that could be linked with this thing. So forget all those things, but remember, what is the largest work related death? Like, what is the component? Long working hours. Next one is what? Particulate matter and gas and fumes, injuries. Next, asbestos. So that is the reason why that disease is important. If that disease comes on the exam paper, everybody will hands up. That's for sure. Okay. So next, coming to this, another important thing. So GAIL, do you know GAIL means? Gas Authority of India Limited. ఏం చెప్పింది? టు బిల్డ్ రిజర్వ్స్ బై స్టోరింగ్ గ్యాస్ ఇన్ depleted wells. So prior to this, so you know, India is the largest importer of what? Crude oil. India is a large importer of crude oil. India is a large exporter of refinery petroleum products. So ultimately our economy stops import and export is dependent on what? Oil itself, this fossil fuel itself, right? Got it? So that is the reason why India has, during the time of 2004, there is a need of strategic petroleum reserves. The concept is what called strategic petroleum reserves. Ante crude oil import చేసుకున్నప్పుడు we need to store it in some place, right? Those places are called what? Strategic petroleum reserves. Any idea, like, does India have anything? One of the thing, does India have any SPRs? Does India have any SPR? So leave that one. Does India have any strategic gas reserves? Same thing over here. Any gas reserves? No idea. But this is very important for your prelims. Right. India doesn't have any natural gas storage facilities, strategic. But India have 4 strategic petroleum reserves. Remember, very, very important. So that's the reason why they are demanding for a gas storage reserve. Why? Because you know Panchamrita strategy, anybody have idea? Which was mentioned in the COP26 by Narendra Modi sir. Any idea? Panchamrita strategy. No idea? So some 1, 2, 3, 4. You need to maintain 500 gigawatts from non-fossil fuel, 50% from the non-renewable energy. Some carbon storage should be something, carbon 2.5 to 3 billion. Some 4th I forget. 5th one is net zero by 2070. This is the target which was given in the COP26 in the Panchamrita strategy. If you see this goal of 500 gigawatts and the 50% thing, so India is aspiring to become from the non-renewable things, and from the energy should be from what? 500 gigawatts from the non-renewable and non-fossil fuels, right? So they are talking about the fossil fuels. So if you need to cut this thing, what is the main contribution or energy mix? Energy mix tells kada, thermal, through the form of coal, right? At present, India's state of gas is energy mix is 6%. So we are aspiring to make it 15% by 2030. To make this 15%, you need some storage facilities, right? To store. So that's the reason why, as in line with the strategic petroleum reserves, they also want to build what? Strategic gas reserves. This is behind theory. They don't mention all those things in this article, but these all things can be connected with this article. Got it? So international convention దగ్గర నుంచి ప్రతి ఒక్కటి కనెక్షన్ ఉంటుంది. So coming to here, Assam is the largest gas producing state in India, produces about 8.3 million mm, about 13% of gas reserves are around in Assam. So which state largest gas? Assam. So coming to strategic petroleum reserves. So I have already told you that some reserves should be there. The construction of the strategic crude oil storage facilities in India is being managed by whom? Indian Strategic Petroleum Reserves Limited, ISPRL. ISPRL is a wholly owned subsidiary of what? Oil Industrial Development Board under Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. So this is, I'll tell you this about this thing. According to what? Just read out. International Energy Program. Every nation belonging to, do you know IEA? International Energy Agency is required to maintain emergency reserves of oil amounting to a minimum of what? 90 days worth of their oil import. Who mentioned about this one? International Energy Agency's International Energy Program. So question ala frame chestarante. International Energy Program is a part of which of the following? International Energy Agency, Solar, what is this? International Solar Alliance, IRENA. There is an organization, IRENA. So alanti related vastayi anamata. So next, another important thing you need to know is, India is not a part of IEA. International Energy Agency ki India is not a part, but India is an observer. Got it? Very important thing. So this could be a potential UPSC 2024 question. Reserves in India: Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh, Mangaluru, Paduru, Chandikol. So these three already is there. Next, they are going to increase the level, like a level of storage. So it's the first phase. These two are in the second phase at present. Okay. So very important. These for only 4 reserves. So figure India's installed electricity generating. So energy mix. This energy mix, coal how much? 52%. Hydropower 13. So based on the 2022 statistics, wind 10, nuclear 2%, solar 15. So natural gas is how much? 6%. What is the target? 15% by 2030. Remember, that point is very important. So this is the practice question. Just see here, which of the following statements are correct? Select the correct pair. Chandikol. Okay. Padur. Okay. Mangalore, Visakhapatnam. So what is the answer? So two pairs. Second one is ఈ రెండు కాదు అంతే కదా. సో పడూర్ ఈస్ కర్ణాటక, చండికోల్ ఈస్. సో ఇది ఎందుకు పెట్టానంటే ద రీజన్ ఇఫ్ యూ డోంట్ నో యూ జనరల్లీ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ దట్ మోస్ట్లీ ఇఫ్ యూ సీ ద క్రూడ్ ఆయిల్ ఇవన్నీ ఎక్కడ చేశారు, బాంబే హై. గాట్ ఇట్? ఇట్ ఈజ్ అన్ ఈజీ ట్రాప్. బాంబే ఈజ్ అన్ ఈజీ ట్రాప్ ఫర్ యూ. ఎవ్రీబడి సి ఇఫ్ యూ డోంట్ నో గెస్ చేద్దాం అన్నోడానికి కంపల్సరీగా రాంగ్ అవుతుంది ఇది. దట్ ఐ కెన్ గ్యారంటీ. గాట్ ఇట్? సో బీ అవేర్ ఆఫ్ సచ్ థింగ్స్. సో అండ్ I found very interesting thing on the paper. DGCA alerts airlines to fake navigation signals. That is ultimately called as what? GPS spoofing. Anybody heard? These type of things are new in the cyber security. This is a kind of cyber threat kada. Inni cyber threats winner. Did you heard this GPS spoofing till now? So nothing much here. For example, there is a signal for a aircraft. Take aircraft as an example. They generally follow based on these GPS signals, right? Based on the signals condition untadi kada valki ila path anta chupistadi kada. So what they will do is they will tweak these signals. What they will do is in the GPS spoofing, or they may blank ga chesestaru, or else ultimately ga deeniki signal pan cheyadu neeku. Or else they may change the location by using that device. Location మారుస్తారు అన్నమాట. ఎగ్జాక్ట్ లొకేషన్, ప్రిసైజ్ లొకేషన్ ఇది అనుకుంటే దే విల్ చేంజ్ దిస్ లొకేషన్ టు హియర్, విచ్ వాస్ హ్యాపెండ్ రీసెంట్లీ ఇన్ ద ఇరాన్. ఇరాన్లో జరిగింది ఇది. ద ఇన్సిడెంట్ విచ్ వాస్ హ్యాపెండ్, ఫేక్ నావిగేషనల్ సిగ్నల్స్ హ్యాస్ హ్యాపెండ్. సో డీరూట్ అయినాయి కొన్ని ఫ్లైట్స్. So what is ultimate? It is a kind of cyber security, right? Cyber threat kada. So this is ultimately regarding this thing. But remember, what is this GPS spoofing another concept ante. Got it? It's a part of cyber security. It's ultimately it's national security threat kada. So that's why they have warned this DGCA. Do you know DGCA? Directorate General of Civil Aviation. So see, GPS spoofing is an attack aimed at overriding the GPS enabled device original location. The attacker uses a radio transmitter that broadcasts fake GPS signals and interferes with the GPS receivers nearby. The problem is that by the time these radio signals reach your device, they become fairly weak. This means that a transmitter with a nothing much. Ekkado satellites untai. Nee device ikkada untadi, right? They will transmit some signals. If they reach the nee mobile ki akkada vachetappudu, they have some weakness also kada when they are transmitting from that distance. What these people, the hackers, will do is they will create an artificial GPS signal and they merge with this one. They will tweak the signal. So ultimately you will get a wrong output over here, or else blank output. You don't see any location on. So it's a good cyber threat. If you want to practice, just do masterity in these things. So another important thing, RBI supersedes Abhyudaya Cooperative Bank Board. So see, in this week I have chosen very small articles, but which are very potential useful for your UPSC prelims. Very useful. So వీటిలోనే కంటెంట్ ఎలా బయటకు తీసుకురావాలి I have tried, right? So here what RBI supersedes Abhyudaya Cooperative Bank. Generally if you see the cooperative banks, so what is the main, like who are the members, or what is the main aim of cooperative bank? Yeah, exactly. The cooperative bank's theme is what? Shareholders or its వాళ్ళే రూల్ చేస్తారు, వాళ్ళే ఎవ్రీథింగ్ decided by these people. Earlier, there is a kind of dual regulation. So ultimately, if you see these cooperative banks, they are dealt by the state government and the multi-state or else this Cooperative Societies Act, not by this Banking Regulation Act. So some powers, the top powers only will be seen by whom? RBI, and other powers with the state. With the state has a position of this cooperative societies thing. So earlier these two, RBI and the state, used to control the cooperative banks. But recent 2020 amendment, the theme has changed. In that changing perspective, remember, RBI has an overarching power in multi-state cooperative banks and urban cooperative banks. Only these two. What? Multi-state and urban cooperative, not of PACS. There is a PACS, anybody know? Primary Agricultural Credit Societies or Rural Cooperative Banks. VTMIKI state and same thing will be there. State is the final authority for dealing all those things. But coming to this, what I have told, multi-state cooperative bank and urban cooperative bank, ultimately it is done by whom? Controlled by whom? RBI. It's a recent amendment. So when I have seen this article, I have got connected with that. The linkage, that's what I am going to say, is the linkage. See, so if RBI want to supersede this Abhyudaya Cooperative Bank Board, it should be a multi-cooperative or urban, right? If it is a rural, it doesn't have any power, right? If it is a PAC, it doesn't have any power, right? So it means that is Abhyudaya Cooperative something, it is something in that two dimension, right? Urban or multi-state cooperative, right? That you need to know. Adi తెలియాలంటే you need to know about that amendment which RBI has given in the 2020. Alright, 2020. So supersession of the banks. In that amendment, what they have mentioned is supersession of the bank boards. The act states that RBI may supersede the board of directors of a multi-state cooperative bank for up to how much? 5 years under certain conditions. Do you know why this Abhyudaya bank enduku supersede chesaro? Any idea? Poor governance is the concept, but there is something will be there, right, in the monetary policy law. Generally CRR, SLR, ఇవన్నీ ఉంటాయి కదా, CRR, SLR, all those things will be right. What this bank is doing is, it is increasing its SLR. What is SLR? Yeah, that I know. Explain what is this SLR. So what ultimately, if it increases, I don't need all those definition, but what happens if it is increases, what happen if it decreases? I need only application based thing. If SLR increases, what happens to the economy? If SLR decreases, what happens to the economy?
Credit growth will be restricted if it increases.
So increase means what? Lending anedi perugutada taggutada, right? Lending will be decreased. So economy ki it is something like halt. Ultimately it is what? Inflation control చేస్తున్నట్టు. See, what economy, if you are attempting an economic questions, economy 40 to 50% or application based. SLR ఒక్కటి తెలిస్తే సరిపోదు, CRR ఒక్కటి తెలిస్తే సరిపోదు. You need to apply with the general context. Any question, if you see 50% of the paper or the economy, if you see the PYQs, it is based on the application based. So be aware, be cautious when you are doing with the economy. Just ఏదో definition చదువుకొని వెళ్దాంటే వర్కౌట్ అవ్వదు అక్కడ. Application is important. So what this bank has done is increase this SLR. So that is the reason why this RBI superseded this one. This is the reason, but remember, they may ask about this SLR increase and decrease and a chance untadi, but I don't know. But it's like an revision thing for you. So in 2020, what was happened? All urban cooperative banks and multi-state cooperative banks were brought under what? Supervision of whom? RBI. Yeah, that is one of the reasons. So next one will not apply to, remember these will not apply to whom? PACS, Primary Agricultural Credit Societies. Next one cooperative. So ilaga applies to ane danlo ivi kuda ivvachu, just idaithe teliyకపోవచ్చు, but remember these other points. So next one is what? Cooperative societies whose principal business is long term financing for what? Agricultural development. Next one, other provisions say that two societies must not use the term what? Bank, banker or banking in their name or in connection with their business, acts as an entity that clears checks. Ivanni sambandham undakodadu. That's what this proving. So this is what 2021 PYQ. See, the news is what? Amendment ఎప్పుడు వచ్చింది? 2020. When the question came? 2021. So current affairs చాలా important. So if anybody miss this in the magazine, ఏం చేస్తారు? Nothing. So that's the reason why at least paper చదవండి, చదవకపోతే పనులు అవ్వవు. Okay. So coming to this question, with reference to the urban cooperative banks in India, consider the following statement. The word is what? Urban cooperative banks. They are supervised and regulated by the local board set up by the state government. Simple, very very simple, easy answer, easy question also. If you know that current affair, urban cooperative banks ever deal చేస్తున్నారు? Supervised by whom? RBI. If this is a wrong one, what is the answer? B. Right? ఏం అవసరం, జస్ట్ ఆ కరెంట్ అఫైర్ మీకు మైండ్లో ఎక్కడో చిన్నది పడినా చాలు, యూ కెన్ ఈజీలీ రైట్, యూ కెన్ ఈజీలీ మేక్ దిస్ ఆన్సర్ కరెక్ట్, రైట్? ఇక్కడ నీకు ఈ క్వశ్చన్స్ కూడా ఇంకేం అవసరం, చదవాల్సిన అవసరం కూడా లేదు కదా. ఫ్రమ్ ద 2021 పర్స్పెక్టివ్, 2024 ఇట్ మే బీ టఫ్, but if you analyze the 2023 paper, you may be ready for the 2024 paper. So very important. It's been since something 20 years or 20-25 years nunchi there is an theme of they require what? All India Judicial Service. Any idea what this All India Judicial Service means? So All India Judicial Service, the judge should not be lower than district court. District court judge కంటే కింద లెవెల్ దాకా ఉండకూడదు. సో ఆ లెవెల్కి ఎవరైతే డిస్ట్రిక్ట్ జడ్జ్ చేస్తారో రిక్రూట్మెంట్ విల్ హ్యాపెన్ వేర్? ఆల్ ఇండియా వైజ్. సేమ్ థింగ్ లైక్ అవర్ IAS IPS exam, judge for the district level. Obviously, right, a collector is posted at the district headquarters. Obviously, he is also posted as a district judge, right? Same thing in the similar manner, right? So there should be some need, right? Why there is a need of All India Judicial Services? So if that happens, there are some implications or issues, right, to deal with this. So what are those issues? If you want this All India Judicial Service into the limelight or into the reality, what are the things you need to do? These are the main dimensions you need to look over in this article. 2 articles they have mentioned in the paper regarding this All India Judicial Service. So if in India, in India, if we need any All India service, right, from where it should emanate? Yeah, according to the article 312, Rajya Sabha or Council of State should pass not less than 2/3 majority for the any All India services. In this All India service, this All India Judicial Service is also there mentioned in the Article 312. Okay. So remember, so who should emanate this, start this one? Rajya Sabha. Right, very important thing. So next, again Lok Sabha should be passed by the 2/3 majority. Again the assent of the president should be there. Then his AIJs will come into the picture. So why need? Any idea? Just tell me. Any మీకు తెలిసినే చెప్పండి. ఆల్ ఇండియా జ్యుడిషియల్ సర్వీస్ ఎందుకు కావాలి? Pendency is one point. Next one. Yeah, wide representation.
Excess of local judges not giving
Wide representation, diversity. Next one.
nexus of local judges not giving fair.
Yeah, nexus, whatever it may be, nexus, or you can say a word of nepotism, right? Nexus or nepotism, you can connect. Next one. That also. Delay. The need of young talent. Next, the need of standardization. These are some of the needs, right, which is demanding for what? All India Judicial Services. In the long term, this also play a chance, right? UCC. In the long term, not in the short term. What is UCC? Uniform Civil Code. Ultimately, if it is standardized, this can also easily happen. Not easily happen, and కొంతవరకు దీని హెల్ప్ చేస్తుందా లేదా? It will, if the standardize is there, right? In the long term, not in the present term. So these are some of the needs. What are the issues? So why need? First one is what? Social inclusion. Next one, representation of marginalized and deprived. Attract best talent. Chance to women. Obviously, ఇచ్చినప్పుడు there will be an women reservation kind they can bring into this judicial domain, right? ఎందుకంటే యాక్ట్ పాస్ చేస్తున్నారు కాబట్టి, రైట్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్, పెండెన్సీ ఆఫ్ కేసెస్. వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ద లోవర్ కోర్ట్స్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ 4.3 crores ఆర్ పెండింగ్. ఇఫ్ యూ సీ నియర్లీ 5 crores అయితే ఇందాక ఎంత చూసాం మనం? 80,000, నియర్లీ 80,000 under the Supreme Court. So remaining 4.3 crore cases, that is 85% of the cases with whom? Lower courts. So this is one of the thing. Low judge to population ratio. So generally it is, law commission has suggested 1:150, but it is something around 1:19, I think so at present. So next one, no more nepotism. See, I'll tell you, I'll tell the process, then you will come to know. First of all, a judge, how this judge of a district judge is established, like why he came into the picture, elaga appoint author, you do you know? Same thing. SPSC, State Public Service Commission, with consultation of this High Court, they will conduct an exam. Same interview process, everything will be there. Exam and interview process will be there. It is within the state, right? The board members also within the state, right? Got it? Board members who are going to inquire or who are going to do the interview, they are also panel members of this, right? These members who are there over here, they may have link with the coming person. So there obvious nepotism, right? You will support it. Judiciary is mostly of the nepotism. So if you see the collegium structure, a collegium structure is itself a nepotism thing. Got it? అంటే తెలిసిన వాళ్ళు వీళ్ళు బాగుంటారన్న ఊహతోనే దే విల్ సజెస్ట్ దోస్ నేమ్స్. బెస్ట్ టాలెంట్ని పక్కన పెట్టేసి దేర్ విల్ బి లాట్ మెనీ పీపుల్ హూ ఆర్ వెరీ గుడ్ ఇన్ నెంబర్ ఇన్ ద హైకోర్ట్ జడ్జెస్, దేర్ విల్ హైకోర్ట్ CJs విల్ బి దేర్, but they won't come into the picture when they are going to elevate as a Chief Justice of India or High Court, Supreme Court judges. Because of this nepotism angle is there. If you accept or not, it is there in the judicial system. Because they simply say that what? Separation of powers. So basic structure of constitution. So next one, this is the article I have already told you. So next one, issues, very very important. Encroachment of states power. So states has authority right till now. Already in so many dimensions they are taking those areas. For example, take example of GST. Encroach the state power, right? Earlier state has some hold in collecting the revenues, but coming due to this GST, that revenue got decreased, right, from the state's perspective. So encroachment, so why the states will accept? There's a one issue. If they want to accept, they need to convince in different dimensions. Next one, judicial centralization. Obviously, right? So earlier there is a centralization of what? Normal bureaucracy. Again this judiciary also becomes centralized. Obviously this comes under AIJS, All India Judicial Services. Same thing, this All India for there is a head from the central government, Ministry of Law and Department only, right? Ultimately this AIG is controlled by what? Ministry of Law, right? By controlled by whom? DO? So whatever it may be, you take the DOPT, but what are the procedures, each and everything will be dealt by this Ministry of Law itself, right? So if you want to recruit those things, it is done by DOPT. So DOPT is also a part of government, it is not part of judiciary, right? Ultimately the centralization comes into the being, again the concept of separation of powers. So that's one issue. Next one, lack of countrywide legal education. One state is different from other state, right? We have a different kind, even though we have a CRPC, IPCs, all those things, but if you see the Shariat law is a Muslim law. Do you know it? Shariat law, a Ranbir code. Anybody heard Ranbir code? It is a code on the Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, Ranbir code, Shariat law, all these things which you can see. So there is a no countrywide legal education. So this may be one of the issue. Next one is what? May opt for other avenues like corporate laws. For example, these judge who are recruited, for example, same thing. If you want to, IAS is for what? Generally people prefer for power. Generally, it's a conception, right? If he has a good lawyer, if he came from the Tata Legal Services, Tata Law, some kind of good colleges, they will opt for a good legal firm, right? For example, if you go as an advocate or this company's lawyer, prosecutor of that company, they'll pay a good amount for you, right? But this judge obviously starts with 50,000 and escalation of something 1.5, like it may not be luresome to them. డబ్బులు సరిగ్గా రాకపోవచ్చు. సో జనరల్ అంతేగా చేస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడు డాక్టర్స్ ఆర్ దేర్, బట్ డాక్టర్స్ ఆర్ వెరీ లిమిటెడ్ ఇన్ ద రూరల్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్, రైట్? వాట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్? they want to earn money, right? Same thing, low number of district judges, elevation to high court judges. So generally, why? Because these high court judges who are elevating from district judge to high court is low number. Generally these high court judges are decided by this Bar Council of India. Do you know there is a council called Bar Council of India? They will play with this one. High court judges entamandi enti anadi it determines by that terms. Next one, language as barriers, very 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 important. This is a one important thing. Next one, bureaucratization. So judiciary kuda they are changing into bureaucracy perspective. Same thing like IAS and IPS. Which one? So not only that certificate, this issue is since 20 years. Yeah, like last year also it came into the limelight. But recently, if you see the on 26th day of this November, this is also called National Law Day. So government, Draupadi Murmu has suggested that we need an All India Service Commission, Judicial Commission. So that's why this came into the picture. But till now, I think so, UPSC have not asked regarding this thing, All India Judicial Service. There may be huge chance. The next year, there may be huge chance regarding this All India Judicial Service. So, measures to deal with the implementation of this AIJS in India. Consultation with the state governments. So, ఎంతవరకు కావాలనే దానికి. Next one is what? Balancing centralization and regional representation. Robust training programs, transparent and merit-based selections, periodic review and evaluation, incorporate local stakeholders, flexibility in implementation. These are the general things. But if the question comes on the paper, you need to have something ready-made, right? So just be aware of. దీనిలో ఏమైనా అర్థం కాలేదా? These are very basic things. అర్థం కాకపోతే అడగండి, I'll tell you. What option you didn't understand, I'll tell you. So this is a mains practice question. Is All India Judicial Service the need of the hour? Discuss its issues and suggest measures to deal with this one. Are you able to write this answer? Answer రాయగలరా? Is the need of the hour అనే దానికి need మెన్షన్ చేసామా? What are those needs? Next one, discuss its issues. We have already mentioned those issues. Next one, deal. How to deal? అంటే ఇది కావాలి అనుకుంటే what are the things you need to make over it? Right? Are you able to write this answer? So maybe ఇలా రాకపోయినా సరే సంథింగ్ డిఫరెంట్గా క్వశ్చన్ ఫ్రేమ్ చేయొచ్చు. బట్ అల్టిమేట్లీ దీస్ 3 పాయింట్స్, ఇఫ్ దీస్ 3 పాయింట్స్ దేర్ విత్ యూ, వన్ ఈజ్ నీడ్, వన్ ఈజ్ ఇష్యూస్ అండ్ హౌ టు, దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ వే ఫార్వర్డ్. If you have these 3 things in you, any kind of question comes under the All India Judicial Service, you can easily write these things on the paper. That I can guarantee. Right? I think it's the last topic. Yeah. That's it. Thank you. Any doubts? Any doubts? ప్రతి ఫెయిత్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ అవసరం లేదు మనకి, జస్ట్ చదువుకొని వదిలేసేయండి. ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ కనెక్టింగ్ విత్ ద యూపీఎస్సీ ప్యాటర్న్లో అయితే యూ కెన్ సీ ఇట్. అంటే ప్రతి ఒక్కటి అవసరం లేదు. ఇంకేం డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా? కానీ వెదర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ హిందూ, వెదర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఇండియన్ ఎక్స్ప్రెస్, ఏదైనా సరే దేనికైనా మీకు ప్రిఫరబుల్గా ఉంటే యూ కెన్ గో విత్ ఎనీథింగ్, ఎనీ న్యూస్ పేపర్. But what I'm going to suggest you people is at least read one editorial per day. అది ఏ ఎడిటోరియల్ అయినా సరే అండి. If you open Hindu, there will be 3 editorials. Right? One is the main one, 2 are the sub ones. It depends on you. If it is a political one, just leave that one. If it is something regarding other than politics, just read that. It will help you to boost your answer writing, whether it is in mains, whether it is in ethics, whether it is in essay, whether it is in interview also, whether it is in CSAT also. Do you know CSAT? CSAT లో కాంప్రహెన్షన్ ఉంటుంది తెలుసా మీకు? నియర్లీ 20 క్వశ్చన్స్. ఒకటి పెద్ద ఆర్టికల్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు దానిలో మీరు క్రక్స్ రాయలేనప్పుడు మీకు ఏం అర్థమవుతుంది? ఇఫ్ యూ గో డైరెక్ట్లీ ఆన్ టు ద పేపర్. సో ఈ ఎడిటోరియల్ డైలీ ఒకటి ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తుందంటే వాట్ డస్ ఇట్ మీన్? యు ఆర్ ప్రాక్టీసింగ్ 365 కాంప్రహెన్షన్స్, రైట్? అవునా కదా? 365 కాంప్రహెన్షన్స్లో ఒక గ్లింప్స్ని బయటకు తీసుకొని వస్తున్నాం. అల్టిమేట్గా ఒక దానికి మాట్లాడి, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇంత సుప్రీం కోర్టుతో కూడా చదివాం, ఇట్స్ మెయిన్ ఆర్టికల్. దానిలో గ్లింప్స్ ఏంటి? వాట్ ఈస్ ద గ్లింప్స్ ఆఫ్ దట్ ఆర్టికల్? జిస్ట్ ఆర్ గ్లింప్స్? సుప్రీం కోర్టు చదివాం కదా, చదవలేదా? సో చదివాం కదా. వాట్ ఈస్ ద గ్లింప్స్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ఆర్టికల్? జిస్ట్ ఏంటి?
On advancing to advocacy, the need of reform of judiciary.
So you need some reform. What is that reform that is demanding? Structural changes. What is the structural changes? You need to create two divisions. One is a legal division, one is a constitutional division. That is the overall crux of this article. ఆ క్రక్స్ నువ్వు ఈ ఆర్టికల్ నుంచి బయటకు తీయగలిగితే సేమ్ థింగ్ సీసాట్ కాంప్రహెన్షన్లో కూడా అలానే ఉంటుంది. ఒక ఎంత పెద్ద ఆర్టికల్ ఇచ్చినా సరే ఆ క్రక్స్ అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి. ఆ క్రక్స్ ఎప్పుడు వస్తుంది? వెన్ యూ గెట్ ప్రాక్టీస్తోనే వస్తుంది. సో వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఎడిటోరియల్. బలవంతంగా చదవకండి. అగైన్ ఐమ్ టెలింగ్ యూ, ఏంటో బలవంతంగా చదువుకో. 15 నిమిషాలు 20 నిమిషాలు పడుతుందా? జస్ట్ లైన్ టు లైన్ అని చదువుకోండి. సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా హ్యాస్ 3 జ్యూరిస్డిక్షన్ ఏమున్నాయి ఇలా రాసుకోండి. ఇట్ విల్ బీ ఈజీ. ఒక 1 మంత్ కష్టం అనిపించవచ్చు, నెక్స్ట్ మంత్ నుంచి ఈజీ అనిపిస్తుంది. ఎందుకంటే ప్రతిసారి యూ విల్ కమ్ టు నో న్యూ ఆర్టికల్. సో వాట్ దిస్, ఎప్పుడైనా సరే ఎడిటోరియల్ అంటే ఏంటి, వాట్ డస్ ఇట్ మీన్? నేను తిట్టట్లేదు మిమ్మల్ని. యూ పీపుల్ ఆర్ లైక్ దిస్. ఇట్స్ ఏ వ్యూ, అదర్ పర్సన్స్ వ్యూ, అంతే కదా. అతను ఏం చెప్తున్నాడు, రైట్? ఎగ్జామినర్ కూడా అదే ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నాడు కదా, నువ్వేం చెప్తున్నావు, నువ్వు కరెక్ట్ ఆన్సర్ కరెక్ట్ చేసేవాడు కదా, నువ్వేం చెప్తున్నావు ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తాడు కదా. సేమ్ థింగ్ అదే పర్స్పెక్టివ్లో చూడండి, థర్డ్ పర్సన్ ఏం మాట్లాడుతున్నాడు దీని గురించి. ఆ క్రక్స్ అంటే అలా మీరు కనెక్ట్ చేసుకోగలిగితే ఈజీ అయిపోయింది. ఏదో సబ్జెక్ట్ కోసం చదవాలి, యూపీఎస్సీ కోసం చదవాలనుకుంటే సగం చదువుతారు, బోర్ కొడుతూ వదిలేస్తారు. దట్ ఐ కెన్ గ్యారెంటీ. బికాస్ స్టార్టింగ్లో కొంచెం నాకు కూడా ట్రబుల్ ఉంటుంది ఇప్పుడు కదా ఇనిషియల్ డేస్లో. బట్ వెన్ యూ గెట్ కనెక్ట్ విత్ ద సబ్జెక్ట్, వెన్ యూ గెట్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ డెవలప్ చేసుకోండి, ఓకేనా. ఒకదానికి ఉపయోగపడదు, మల్టిపుల్ సోర్సెస్కి ఉపయోగపడుతుంది ఎడిటోరియల్ అనేది. ఇట్ విల్ ఈజ్ యువర్ ప్రిపరేషన్, దట్స్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు సే. బట్ కరెంట్ అఫైర్స్ రోజుకి ఎప్పుడు కుదిరితే అప్పుడు చదివేసుకోండి. టైం ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేసినా సరే పర్లేదు, ఓకే. ఇఫ్ పాసిబుల్ ట్రై టు మేక్ నోట్స్. దెర్ విల్ బీ సమ్ ఎగ్జాస్టివ్ స్టేజ్ వస్తుంది. అంటే ఒకటో రెండో పేపర్ మొత్తం మీద ఒక ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 15 ఆర్టికల్స్ ఉంటే 2, 3 కొత్తవి అనిపిస్తాయి అంతే. మీకు ఒక ఎగ్జాస్టివ్ స్టేజ్ వస్తుంది. ఆ స్టేజ్ వచ్చారంటే యుల్ బీ ఒక స్టాండర్డ్ వచ్చేసినట్టే మీకు. ఇంకేముంది, ప్రతి ఒక్క టాపిక్ మీకు తెలిసినట్టే కదా. ఆ ఎగ్జాస్టివ్ స్టేజ్ ఎప్పుడు వస్తుంది అంటే వెన్ యూ ఆర్ బీయింగ్ కన్సిస్టెంట్ విత్ ద న్యూస్ పేపర్. ఇంకొక కాంటెక్స్ట్ కూడా ఉంది. ఇప్పుడు COP 28 జరుగుతుంది. డూ నో COP 28 UNFCCC? అది మీరు రోజు చదవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. జస్ట్ ఏం మెన్షన్ చేసాడు చదివి వదిలేస్తే సరిపోతుంది. ఎట్ లాస్ట్ అది కన్క్లూడ్ అవుతుందా? ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 30th స్టార్ట్ అయింది, ఎప్పుడుకో ఎండ్ అవుతుంది. ఆ ఎండ్ అయిన నెక్స్ట్ డే దే విల్ గివ్ ద కంప్లీట్ పిక్చర్ ఆఫ్ దట్, రైట్? ఆ రోజు చదవండి. ఈ ముందు రోజున జస్ట్ ఏం తెలుసుకుంటూ జస్ట్ తెలుసుకోండి అంతే. ఓకే, ఇది మెన్షన్ చేశారు. నిన్నేంటి లాస్ అండ్ డ్యామేజ్ ఫండ్ గురించి $450 million మెన్షన్, జస్ట్ అదే నేర్చుకొని తెలుసుకొని పక్కన పెట్టండి. ఫైనల్గా వస్తుందా రిపోర్ట్, అంతా అయిపోతుందా? అప్పుడు ఓవరాల్గా ఏమేమి మెన్షన్ చేశాడు జస్ట్ మేక్ ఏ గ్లిమ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. ఒక ప్రాసెస్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతున్నప్పుడు అది ఎండ్ దాకా మధ్య మధ్యలో చిన్న చిన్న పాయింట్స్ తీసుకుంటూ ఉండండి. బట్ ఎండ్ స్టేజ్లో టేక్ ద హోల్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఫ్రమ్ దట్ ఆర్టికల్. గాట్ ఇట్? ట్రై టు మేక్ యువర్ వే స్మార్టర్, నాట్ హార్డర్. బట్టి కొడితే అవ్వదు కదా పనులు, అవ్వవు. సి వాట్ ప్రాక్టికల్ ఐఎమ్ సేయింగ్, యూ నీడ్ టు కనెక్ట్ ద థింగ్స్. దట్స్ ఇట్. థ్యాంక్ యూ. Any doubts?